big heart pounding. He's clear. He wins.
Mate, I'll tell you what, if that doesn't get a tear to your eye, I don't know what will.
Fuck me. What a race. Alligator Blood pumping through. His big heart, geez, he brained them.
Mate, we said it last week. What did we say? You're un-Australian if you're not tipping Alligator Blood. If your money isn't going on Alligator Blood, you're un-Australian.
There was knockers. There was a lot of knockers. There was a lot of people that liked Catalyst. Well, what happened to Catalyst? And I tell you what, a great run by a horse that you and I particularly like ended up coming third and has since been retired, but a great third by Soul Patch.
Yep. I've got to say, out of the race, this is how good Alligator Blood is. In one race, I know we shouldn't be making light of it, but it's broken 3 horses' hearts. Not their actual hearts, but Soul Patch has been retired. Catalyst, they couldn't find what was wrong with it and then realised it had stone bruises on all 4 feet. And there was one more out. I don't know if it was Chenier or there was one more to come out of it that is that's also Alabama Express run last, which we did predict on the show last week.
Look, I tell you what they found out with all of the horses in that race, that not one of them, apart from AB, has Alligator Blood pumping through his heart. Great call there. Great win. Just, I don't know. I thought you and I were just blinded by love that this was just going to happen. It went out. It wasn't favourite. Catalyst came into favourite. Then a lot of money came late for Alabama Express. A lot of money came for that Chenier. What was it? Chenier?
Van Dyke, though, did say he was very, 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 it put him at ease after they paraded and the big money started rolling in for Alligator Blood. And he said, whilst he thought the horse looked beautiful, he goes, nothing makes you feel more warm and fuzzy than your horse firming after it's paraded, showing that the big punters are following up. Yeah.
When I watched that, I started firming. I have to be really honest with you.
I heard later in the night you were drinking plenty of Alligator Bloods.
Mate, I had it dripping down the sides of my mouth. I was so happy. I actually went out on the boat. We went offshore the day after, and the key to going offshore is not drinking too much piss the day before. Anyway, an hour and a half into the trip, they put me back on land because I was crook as a dog. No, it was fantastic. Just brain the Australian.
What were you telling me? Is Alligator Blood half beer, half red wine, and a little bit of grenadine? Is that?
It's gin. So if you've got a schooner, you'd think 70% gin, then you then you do the other 30% half. 2 is old, and you know the casks of red that are just called claret, and just that, and then you do a small shot of what's that shit?
Grenadine.
Citrus. Nah, the green for alligator. Remember
sounds
citrus?
It sounds a bit more like alligator feces.
Yeah, mate. I was bleeding. Trust me, from an alligator tail end, it was tough.
I'll tell you what, though, another big bit of news with Alligator Blood is that it looks like they are pressing on to the All-Star Mile, which it will be a quite firm favourite. The $3.20 about it at the moment looks overs to us, obviously, with the love that we have for the horse. But Catalyst is out. AB firming by the day. Woodhead firming about AB by the day.
By the hour. But no, look, it was great. Alligator Blood. I hope you all got on it. We were far too confident, but I hope you all just jumped on the back of us and had a good win. We had
leg up money.
We had plenty of money about it at $3.20. So it was happy days for us. In fact, we had a cracker of a weekend. Our bets, my bet, I had one get up. I had Chicago Cub that got up at $5.50. My man, his first go at the podcast, his first tip for the leg up. He had an $80 bet on a $4 odd multi.
420 not boosted.
420 not boosted. Something like that. You can get kind of 460, 470, maybe 480 if you're not using BetEasy. And you flied home. That was fantastic. You and I were chatting Friday night. I took the All-Stars. You took the Vicks. Vicks came up in the last quarter and brained them. It was great. Look, we might go into that a little bit later because we've got a little bit more, I suppose, relevant stuff to get into now. So we are 1 week out from the NRL 2020 season. So happy to have football back. We've had a few tasters of footy the last couple of weeks with the Vic All-Stars and the Aussie rules. The All-Stars clashed in the rugby league. And if the Nines didn't whet your appetite.
Wet 14,000 people in Perth's appetite.
Mate, I'm so happy that footy starts back next weekend.
Mate, footy's back. Is there any better time of year? There's so much uncertainty around so many teams this year, but I still feel like the strong teams that finished last year well are going to be the guys going into this season with momentum. I just can't. I don't really see a lot of surprises to start this season off. I know that in your top 8 that you've compiled, there is plenty of surprises, but
I think the Titans just sneak in, but that's me. I think all 3 Queensland go. No. Look, what we'll do is we might go through our top 9. I don't understand why people don't go through their top 8. Go through your top 9 so we know who was the very next. And like, I think last year we had people playing finals on 11 games or 11 games and a draw. I think 12 games get you finals this year, but we'll actually discuss that a little bit. So what we'll do is, if you don't mind, we'll go 1 to 9. I'll just go, anyone that's kind of key outs that you've missed. I'll get you to do wooden spoon. We won't even start with wooden spoon. I'll get you to do your premiers. If you're not 100% sure and you're not sure where your money's going to go, we will be having this podcast will be released before round 1, first game of round 1 next week, so we can kind of do some more futures bets over there. Then we'll do a quick run through of the overs and unders because we love betting on overs and unders. Absolutely love it. And then we'll get to the last kind of third of the podcast. We love betting on anything. The last third of the podcast, we'll actually go through. We'll give a tip for all the Group 1s this weekend, and we'll go through our tips as well. So plenty of action, plenty of kind of half-assed advice, and plenty of terrible tips coming your way. Actually, not terrible tips. We're up.
This is full-assed advice. I'm telling you, the leg up, the pockets are full after the first week.
Mate, anyone that followed the Woodhead wagers, we're up $5.
Ready to launch.
$10. We're up. $10.
I'll tell you what, Chicago Cub. Is there anything better though than winning the last race?
Yeah, it was just. I don't want to say too much, but the way I was betting at Flemington, there was people walking around calling me the Oracle.
Why? Because you just look like a big ball.
Mate, I was in my white moo-moo. I only bet in my white moo-moo for the races. And my big crystal ball. But I went 7 from 9 at Flemington. So, as you know, it was half your money too.
Mate, I tell you what, you were on fire. Low-level flying on Saturday. And the launch into the last race was pretty all-time, actually.
Yeah, mate, I can't. Those days don't come along so often, but when you go the good numbers like that, I've had 2 in the last 6 months. So let's see if we can keep going. We're going to breeze through the first 3. So give me who you like. This is what they're ending the season on. So give me your minor premiers, who comes second, who comes third, and I'll tell you where mine vary. And then people want to hear your thoughts on this because this is your analyst game. But give me who you think's going to finish on top.
Look, there is no surprises here, I think, in the top 3. We're going to be looking at a Roosters minor premiership.
Yep, I agree with that.
I think that Storm and Souths will come a close second and third, but I really, if at any point in the season there is a Cameron Smith injury, I feel like the Storm are just completely derailed. They could go from finishing close to the minor premiers to outside of that top four without Cameron Smith. I think they're just so heavily reliant on him at the moment that I could see them dropping down a long way. I know Cameron's played a lot of games for a lot of seasons, obviously over 400 games, but I just feel like as it's getting towards the end of his career, the body, like it can't hold together. Otherwise, he's superhuman, surely.
This is his last season, surely.
Mate, what's he going to play till he's 100?
He just wants to hit that 500 game mark.
As well as that, South, I think I would have loved to put them at minor premiers after the signing of Latrell, but I think it is going to take him a while to create that base level of fitness to become a fullback. He does carry a lot of weight at the start of the season, and I think with games, he's only going to get better. So it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't start the season as fast or hard as a lot of people would expect. But I can just see them getting into their rhythms late in the season. And I think that's what's going to create such an exciting final series, because I think Latrell, he's got a lot to prove this season, but it just wouldn't surprise me if it does take him a little while before he rips the training wheels off and gets going this season, because new position, a tough position too, a position that really leads the whole team around the park now. Fullback, it's probably the most important position other than halfback on the field. So, I can see him having a big year, but I can see him just easing into it until the finals where, anything could happen.
Yeah, I think I do agree. I think for them to have a real crack at it this year. So sorry, I had Roosters minor premiers. I had South second, Storm third. I think the Latrell factor is very real. I think he needs to hit the ground running from full back. I think it will take him a few games to get his head around it, but I think he can lift the bunnies across the board. I think there's been good support for the Rabbits in regards to the betting. I think to have a bet around them, you've either got to be having, and I'm just giving my thoughts on how I've looked at this for a future bet. There's no value in the minor premiers. I think you've got to take them for premiers if you're really sold on the Souths. And I am, by the way, and my wife, who is mad Roosters, will hate me saying this because she hates the Souths, hates them. But
she did wake up to watch the World Club Challenge too, didn't she, the other week? She's mental.
Yeah, mate, she doesn't mind it, mate. All right, what do you got? Who you got? Like literally from 4 down is where it gets difficult. So who have you got rounding out the top 4?
Fourth, my top 4, the one that sneaks in, probably a bit of a bolter, is the Knights. I think they have they have.
I don't have them.
Well, you don't have them.
I don't have them in the 8. No, I don't have them in the 8.
The 8 at all?
No, I don't. They got Clemmer, they got Pearce, they got Ponga. Ponga's looking at next year, whether he goes to rugby, whether he moves to another team. I reckon the Knights are absolutely screwed this year.
Mate, new coach, who is a great coach. They've got I think anyway, they've got a lot of depth in the forwards with Clemmer and Safidi up front. They bought who I think was one of Cronulla's best players last year, Jaden Brayley at hooker.
Which, that's true, yeah.
Mate, when you read their spine, you're looking at Ponga at fullback, maybe Kurt Mann in the halves with Pearce, and then Brayley at hooker. Like it reads a good spine. There's a lot of, I think, the solidness of Brayley at dummy half, his quick service off the ground, no mistakes. The kid knows when to run. I just think that might create a bit of stability for Pearce to start taking proper ownership of this team and really pushing them forward in attack. Then they will probably replace Brayley with Connor Watson, which will just bring that extra dimension of attack for them. And then my guess is that when they bring Brayley back on, Connor Watson will move to sort of a lock, extra 5'8" sort of role.
Right, yeah. Okay.
That I can see that making up for probably the little bit of inconsistency that their outside backs have had at other clubs. But all their outside backs have been guys that look like they would have stood up, like barring Kalen Ponga, look like they did have a lot of talent at other clubs. And I really think if they do put it together at Newcastle, that they could go a long, very, very, very deep way into the finals, like with the team that they have.
Wow, we read that completely different. But that's a great analysis of where you think, and I think you're fairly, obviously we look at a lot of other analysts and what their thoughts are. I think you're fairly much alone on that one. I think a lot of people don't have Knights in the 4, and I like that because, I mean, everything comes back to how much they're paying, but you will get good money about the Knights to make the top 4. I had the Eels in at number 4. I think. No, I'm telling you. I know. We won't hear the end of this, but I think apart from Latrell, one of the biggest acquisitions is I'm a huge fan of Regan Campbell Gillard.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I am.
You just love the
him
mo.
up front. I love the mo. He looks like your brother-in-law, actually.
Oh, Big Morg.
I reckon he looks identical to Morgs. Plays hard and fast and tough like Morgs as well. No, I think they've got a good combo up front with him. Is it Ryan Madison, the other one?
Mate,
yeah, I don't know. There's something about Eels at the moment. I'm going to take. I am betting on that. I'm going to bet on yours too, to be honest with you. But I think the Eels will. What do they? Mate, they finished 5th last year. So what is 4th a much bigger ask?
I really feel like their depth in the halves is poor. I think if Mitchell Moses doesn't take control there, or if Dylan Brown gets injured early on, I think it just derails their whole season. I think they need a guy like Ryan Madison to step up like Cam Murray, which would be a giant ask for him. But
he's had a lot of he's had some off-field stuff, off-season stuff. It's time for him to. This is the time, whether he does it or not. Because he was, what was he? Roosters, Tigers, Para.
Well, he resold Tigers because Para were offering more money and left mid-contract or signed and then left. And I don't know, mate, he flipped and flopped. Yeah, mate, there's no mistake. They've got outside backs that'll run for days. They're like extra front rowers, Parramatta's outside backs. But do you know what, mate? I just think they're that inconsistent. I'm happy for them to be, the friend that I didn't invite to my birthday. I think they're going to run 9th.
9th?
Yep.
9th. You know what, though? You hate Para.
I love Para.
No, you hate Para. We've got a lot of Para fans on the page as well. Make sure you message in. Direct them straight to Pat if you want. Just at Pat Allendorf. Start hurling it because, I'm with you guys. I think they're a big. I reckon they're a big chance. I reckon they're a massive chance to really storm the top 4. And
they've lost
Teppanyaki.
They've lost Teppanyaki Moreira.
Do you think Sivo's got another season under his belt? That was his first season last year.
Yeah, and I reckon that's the best he'll ever play. And, mate, he's my favourite player in the game. But he can't get any better than that. I'm telling you. Michael Jennings is only getting older. He fed him some good ball last season. To be honest. Who? Jennings. If you remember, though, Vunivalu at Melbourne in his first year did a similar thing. Had a real banging first year, and then side sort of worked him out, worked out his weaknesses, and then, after they start exploiting...
You're talking about the Fiji factor.
Mate,
maybe that's just what it is. They come up and... I don't know, mate. I've got him in 4. But who have you got 5th? Maybe where are we going to align?
You'll love 5th. The Cows.
Oh, I'm there.
How does the Cows song go?
Aye, ippy, ippy, aye.
That's the Queensland song.
Mate, will you sing it for everything? I'm doing it at Max's christening. Aye, Yippee. No, mate, I think they're looking hot. Val Holmes, trimmed and slim. Tamalomu, did you see him tearing up the nines? The people at the Perth crowd went nuts. All of them. All 16 of them that were there for the early game. I like the halves too. With I tell you who he was carrying, about 6 of the 9 Titans players.
Yeah, in the semi-final.
Do you remember that run? He was cutting everywhere. One of the blokes literally broke his ankles.
I'm pretty sure he said, "Hey boys, do you want to be in a highlight? Jump on. I'll score this."
This was planned. This was planned. So we're both sitting at 5th for the Cows. 6.
All right, mate. I reckon for the Cows, and a great thing for Queensland and the state of origin, Cohen Hess. He is going to have a huge season. By all reports I've heard, he let himself go a little bit last year, and he's dipping form. I think he had a bit of a Dave Taylor year.
Oh, the big
Coal train. The big coal train had a few too many pastizzis and croissants, and
I remember sitting in a pool bar at the Blue Dolphin Holiday Resort in Yamba with the big coal train. There wasn't a lot of water around us. I'll tell you now.
Mate, he looks like a cartoon character, that bloke.
He's going good.
Wait, here we go. Let's roll on. 6th, Raiders. I think
this is where you and I peel off again.
Mate, I reckon you're being hard on the Raiders. I know I was speaking to you this afternoon about their left side or their right side? BJ Leilua.
Right, their whole entire right side's gone. No Rapana, no Leilua, no Caesar. They've got an untried, untested halfback, George Williams.
I reckon a lot of people wouldn't even know who Aiden is. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he moved out here to work on 95.3.
Rock your body. I don't even know if that's Robbie Williams, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Mate, I'm quite confident that wasn't him.
Wasn't it?
I think he had a song. Your body every.
Nope. All
right.
Nope. First person.
Blue double.
First person to write in with a Robbie Williams song on our Instagram at the Leg Up Australia on Instagram. Well, the first 10 people will draw one out of the hat. Okay, put it that way, because there's some bloke that literally listens to this as soon as it pops up, and he goes and Googles and gets it all on, or he just knows it all. But first 5 who's in, we'll choose one out of a hat, and we'll send you a stubby cooler. So, yeah, Raiders in at 6 for you. So why should we not be worried that their entire right side is gone?
Because they got Curtis Scott, mate. The bloke will flog anyone.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, but they don't know if he can play yet because of his.
I don't know where they get points from what I was looking at today. I was trying to kind of set it aside, but yeah, I can't.
Mate, look, Ricky Stewart is one of the best halfbacks to ever play the game, and he's gone and scouted this English bloke Williams to play in the halves for them. I couldn't see him missing. I couldn't see Ricky Stewart not going and scouting a good half. So, and mate, do you know what? I don't think Hayden Caesar was that good a player. I would have loved to have seen Blake Austin still there, actually, but
yeah. But he's gone Super League, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he got a golden boot over there. But, I cannot see how they would be missing.
But that's the thing. That's exactly right. He leaves the NRL, goes straight over to get the golden boot in the Super League in his first season over there. And we've got this, what's his name? George Williams coming in with no NRL experience, and he's going to start at halfback for the Raiders.
And he should, though. Their depth in the half hasn't been great over the last since Taylor and Stewart.
We were talking like 90s. All right, give me.
But do you know what else? Massive loss for Canberra. I think Bateman's out till like round 12.
Yeah, and
massive loss.
But man, he was fantastic for him last year. He's injured for half the season. He doesn't want to be there. So what?
No, they gave him the money that he wanted.
Oh, did they? Okay.
But Bateman is their Cam Murray. And I know I bring Cam Murray up a lot, but I just think as far as back rowers and locks go, he's the benchmark in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
I reckon Matt Gillett probably 3 to 5 years ago was the benchmark, and now Cam Murray's come along and really stamped his presence on the game.
Yeah, good.
Good.
Okay. What else you got?
Broncos in 7th. Do you know
I
what?
had them 6, so we're close.
Yeah.
Give me 3 reasons why you've got Broncos in the 8.
I'll give you 3. Haas, Fafita, Tavita Pangai Jr.
Pangai Jr.
All three, mate. All three could just bash any forward pack except Talpola.
Just go through a set of tackles for me. Fafita, Haas, Pangai, Fafita, Haas. Fafita, Haas, Pangai, Fafita, and then like McCulloch or someone just scoring.
Yeah, well, if I was Seabold, I'd be saying to the 3 of them, every set we have, 2 of you have to do a hit up.
Oh, and yeah. Easy.
But not only that, like if you think about it, they've got Corey Oates taking that first hit up. They've got Jack Bird, who's going to play fullback, who's going to take the run back. And then you just need 2 of those guys running forward to get out of your own area. Yep. Bang. Yep. Next minute, they've got Milf and who's going to play? Oh, Brody Croft from Melbourne Storm.
Croft, yeah, I know. I think that's good. I think they're, from what I've heard and QRL, like the Queensland Rugby League office, they literally, I think the officers and the QRL officers and the Bronco officers are the same, but they're saying big things. They're saying that Seabold's really, he had to hold on to a few people that he didn't want to last year. He's now created a culture. There are a lot of people that have a lot of belief in them. I'm very excited for my Broncos this year. I think they come in at 6. You've got them 7th. Okay. So let me just a recap.
They did get pumped at the end of last season in their very last game. But they had Jake Turpin playing in the halves. He's back to hooker, who, mate, he's displacing Andrew McCulloch at hooker. Like that. Yeah. That's massive. They obviously have a huge opinion of him. So, yeah, mate, as much, like I said, and
McCulloch's on massive money too. I heard. Well, I know.
Really? I think as well, and this might lead into next week's bets, is Dally M Team of the Year. I reckon Katoni Staggs might, I've done worse things with $10 as Centre of the Year.
Yeah, you have done worse things for $10. So you had Broncos at 7th. Who have you got at 8th?
Mate, I had to put in the almighty Bulldogs.
Yuck. You know what? Do you know what I've got written here for the Bulldogs? Nothing. Because they just don't factor in at all. I got no idea. Who have they got? Mate, Foran's out for till round 11.
Mate,
they've got Napa who can put a shot on.
They got who? Napa. Oh, Big Pappy. Don't get in the way of Big Pappy.
When you call me Big Pappy. Yeah, mate, he's a boxer. Oh, no, mate, sorry, that was Kane Evans.
I'll tell you one thing.
Big Pappy was doing in that video. Oh, yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Big Pappy was cleaning his cucumber, wasn't he?
He was. He was ripping the bark off it.
I have seen in a lot of the predicted teams that Brandon Wakeham hasn't been named in the halves. I couldn't see how you'd leave this bloke out. He was a nomination for the Golden Boot Award, which is the best players in the world for rugby league. He plays for Fiji in the halves. He is going to be a breakout player this year, I think. Then, mate, if they can hold solid form throughout the year and get the stability of Kieran Foran back later in the year, I think, mate, I can see them going good this year. They've got a good bit of depth, and mate, that Corey Haranara,
yes,
he was killing it. He was killing it at the end of last year. I think Lachlan Lewis is going to go better after last year. I think Ockenbar, mate, he's like a reincarnated Jamal Idris.
Yes.
So, yeah, mate, I can just see them having. I think they're hungry. Dean Pay's back's against the wall. He really needs a big year to. And do you know what? He's one of the club's favourite sons. I couldn't see him letting them down again.
Yeah.
And I think if they don't make the 8 this year, it will be a massive letdown. And I think his job will definitely be on the line.
He'll be gone. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so that rounds out your 8. Where was I different? You and I were the same with the Cows at 5th. I had the Broncos 6th. I put the Eagles in there now with a massive asterisk in it because I've got no idea. I honestly couldn't fill this spot. I go very much off the cliff here. I like the Eagles, and then I started looking at the scheduling because I look at a lot of the scheduling for the overs and unders. They have probably the toughest start to the season there, and they've got injuries out. By the time they start getting their injured players back, you're looking at state of origin time where they lose Daly Cherry Evans, they lose both Chujaboyevic's brothers, and
How do you say that?
I think I'm not sure, mate, but that's
I'll have to beep that out.
yeah, I did say bitch. I'm sorry. The Treboyevics. I honestly can't say.
Oh, the Treboyevic's.
Yeah, bitches. And then at 8, I've got the Tigers.
What?
Yeah, mate.
That's got to stitch up.
Yeah, they were 9th last year. You had Dewey in there. You got both the Leilua brothers. I think they'll play for each other. I think they sneak into the 8 and 9th. Who did you have 9th?
The Eels.
Go the Eels, yeah, top 4. Now,
Mate, the Eels have been awful since Fui Moi Moi left.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to tell you I had 9th, and then I want you to tell me who you've got for Wooden Spoon, okay?
Yeah.
I have the Sharks for 9th. Who do you have for Wooden Spoon?
Sharks.
Look, I think Johnson and Townsend, Wade Graham, Bronson Cherry. I think on paper, they're a very, very good side. I am a little bit concerned that they're not, they don't play at Shark Park this year.
Mate, another reason why I have them running last.
But
where will they play? Where are they going to play?
Cogra. I don't think Dragons is using their ground this year. Look, I think Dugan, the less spoken about Dugan, the better. Leave him injured, just piss him off. And what Morris wants to leave?
Josh,
I'm sure every player wishes they could come out 5 weeks before the season starts and tells everyone they want to play for the reigning premiers.
I want to play with my brother.
I'm sure there's players at the Titans that want to come out and go, oh, you know what? I don't want to play for the Titans this year. I want to play for the Roosters. You can't just do that. I reckon they're going to hold on to him. I kind of like that. And then the third Morris brother coaches the Sharks. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I'm glad their older brother didn't let him go. I'm glad that they're going to hold on to him for a few rounds until they've got a few injuries back.
Mate, I don't know what the Sharks don't know if they're coming or going. 3 weeks before the end of the last season, they started shopping or might have been 6 weeks before. They started shopping Morris around of the Josh variety.
Now we want him.
Yeah. They want him like everyone wants bloody toilet paper this week.
Oh, God. What? Are you getting all that shit down in Sydney? People like bum rushing and doing riots for toilet paper for Quilton 3-ply?
Mate, if I get the coronavirus, I'm going to have a clean ass. I can tell you that.
My wife at least she goes, maybe we just use less toilet paper. So maybe I'll just do a shit in the shower. Like, let's just avoid it altogether. People, stop buying stupid shit because you think this is going to get bad. You and I have coronavirus outbreaks close to our house. Look what I'm drinking. Freaking Coronas. You think I care?
Mate, I'll tell you what, you should care because I think you may have already gone off your rocker. Sharks last.
Mm-hmm.
They've already had 3 controversies this year. I think one of those controversies is enough to derail their team. The Josh Morris thing, the fact that he wants to leave, there would be juniors and all the fringe players looking at this going, what an F-wit.
Yeah, can we just, yeah.
Why don't you give us a go and see if we can do the same job? The same with the Josh Dugan scenario.
I hope he does. I hope they do. They do give him a go. I just don't want them to let go of Josh Morris.
Matt Moylan, what position's he playing? Injured? Yep, injured, that's the same one as every year. They've lost Gallen.
Hold on. Do you remember when, this is no joke, where Moylan was they referred to him as like the next Darren Lockyer.
Oh God, mate, that
I don't
you
think
couldn't say.
eventuated
Imagine,
out.
can you imagine if someone was going on with that garbage at the Caxton?
Mate, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I listened to NRL podcast and they were talking about it. And even I think the host said that to the Pearl, and Steve Rendell was like, yeah, well, obviously not. All right. So you've got Sharks for your wooden spoon. Can I just give you a really, really quick? We will do a few more futures bets next week. We'll go through them. We don't have to go through them in depth, but I just want to give you a price for the Cronulla Sharks to win the wooden spoon. And we have to have something on it because it's $17.
I think that is overs.
Just have $50 on it. Just
obviously they should be $4.50. Gamble responsibly. But
yeah,
that's
17. I do not think the Titans are going to win the wooden spoon. I think the Warriors are. Do you know who the second fave is to win the wooden spoon?
Warriors.
Canterbury Bulldogs.
Oh, mate, they're going to make the 8.
Yeah, according to you.
No faith, mate. You have ye of little faith.
Hey, I want to do overs and unders with you. So I'm going to go through it fairly quickly on where you think your money is. We're going to be having 16 bets, and we basically want to double our money, which is pretty shit if you're going to have 16 bets. Outlay 160, hopefully get 320 back. Just $10 each on these overs and unders. We might just roll through them really quickly now.
Yeah, hit me, bro. What do we got?
Okay. We're going to start off with your Bulldogs. Your Bulldogs.
Your Bulldogs, mate. I think the $1.80 at plus 9.5 wins. They're going to win 10 games. So, I think money for jam, that is.
Okay, so you and I completely disagree at that one. I'm taking the $1.95 at the under. So the under was 9.5. Parramatta Eels season wins over 12.5. $1.75, under 12.5, $2.
I got to say unders here, mate.
Yeah, see, we're disagreeing again. I think this is looking good for me. The favourite is the overs. Everyone thinks they're going to make the 4. Get on board. Gold Coast Titans seasons wins over 8.5, $1.80, under 8.5, $1.95.
I've got to say under 8.5 here. I think the Titans would be lucky not to be relegated this year.
I reckon the Titans, and I did the form on the Titans, yes. I reckon they've got 8 wins in them. Now, if they just fall over the line, we got money.
Nah,
so we haven't agreed on sure. We haven't agreed on one. The Raiders, over under 13.5. What do you like?
Over.
I'm taking the unders again. I don't think they're going to make the 8. I think they're going to absolutely foil this year. Cowboys over at 11.5, over under 11.5, flat money, $1.88.
Over.
Yep, I'm with you. We agreed on one.
We got one.
We've got one. We're 5 in and we got one. Broncos over under 11.5.
Mate, I think that is an easy over. That one is easy money.
I think that's good money. I think if we're going to have, I know we're going to have $10 on each, but if we're going to have 250 on one of them,
yeah,
it'd be this one.
If you're looking to have caviar at the end of the season, get on that bet.
Yeah,
over 11.5.
Put 1,000 on it, and you'll be counting your 850 in 4 months' time.
Yeah.
Warriors over under 9.5. I'm going to say unders.
I'm going to say unders.
Yeah. Knights over unders 11.5.
I think, mate, that is an easy one. That is an easy over.
Can I tell you the unders is $1.75 and the over is $2?
Yep.
You think overs? Okay.
And I think well over.
What, you reckon they'll get to like 13?
I reckon 14 or 15.
No, I reckon we'll put this all up on the website so we can be embarrassed as the season goes on. Sharkies over-unders 11.5. Well, we both obviously think that's unders.
Under.
I got to go unders because I reckon 12 is going to get you into the 8. I think they're going to sit 9th. Rabbitohs over-unders only 12.5.
Yep, I think that's overs. I think well over. But
that's the same over and unders as they gave us for Para.
Yeah. But mate, I also think that it could be a case of Rabbitohs easing into the season, so you might have to wait until the later rounds to clear that. But okay. I think they'll cover that spread quite easily.
That's where injuries and everything comes into it as well. Panthers over under 11.5.
I think under. There is a lot of people out there, a lot of podcasts I've listened to have Penrith in their top 8. I don't have Penrith in the top 8.
Me neither.
I think do you know what? It might just come down to I actually have no raps on Ivan Cleary as a coach. I think he's probably a good assistant coach because he's a very level-headed bloke and probably has a lot of knowledge and skill. But you know what? He hasn't gone to a club and changed them enough to create any sort of confidence in his coaching ability.
I think, did we talk about this last week? How we used to get a lot of the shit sent to us about like the videos and the off-season drama and things like that. And we knew someone that was quite well on the inside of the four walls of the Panthers, and they have they did have a very, very unhealthy culture. And I think even my man Morgs Regan Campbell Gillett has come out and said the exact same thing, that he had to remove himself from that situation so he could start playing good football again. I think the Panthers, I wouldn't be surprised if they have another real... Anyway, we're both on that.
He wanted to remove himself from that situation, but he wouldn't remove that shitty mustache.
Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere gross like Penrith, so I'll move to Parramatta.
This podcast is coming to you from Parramatta, actually.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, one half of it is. We both lived in that area. Anyway, Roosters over-unders 15.5.
Over.
Storm over-unders 14.5.
Over. I think, mate, you got to be, whilst every team will be bringing their A games for those two teams, you need to bring your A game for those two teams. They're going to win a lot of games this year.
I agree. Manly 12.5.
Under.
I agree. Very much agree. At $1.95, I very much agree. The St. George Illawarra Dragons.
Under 10.5. Mate, they're going to go under 10.5. But like I said to you today,
8.
They could ruin my Sharks running last.
Yes,
or they could make the top 4. If Ben Hunt and Corey Norman could somehow create the partnership that we all think they're capable of, they could be a very different team. But do you know what? From what they've shown,
top of the game individually, they're fantastic. If they can pair it together and actually get something done, it would be.
Yeah, I don't think they have it. They're like that. They're like that horse you own that's a really good track worker, and you think it's going to win it.
I thought you were actually talking to me, like bagging out a horse I own, but then realised that you own them too.
Yeah, you take it to Dubbo to run, and you think it's going to brain them, and it also runs last. Like the Dragons again.
West Tigers season wins plus 9.5 over-unders. I'm going overs.
I've got to say under, bro. I've got them.
All right, I might whack a spreadsheet up on the website for the under the NRL section. That way we can keep referring to that exactly where you and I were at. I'll listen back and write this down. I should have been writing it down while we're doing it, but let's see exactly where we're at. Did I say Warriors? I think I skipped them. The Warriors over unders, because we will get people going, oh, you left the Warriors out. Over under 9.5.
Under. They're under.
Yeah, same. I see them as eight win teams. Hey, look, we're going to take a really quick break, and after that, we'll get straight into Group 1 racing and where our money's going this weekend. So
Then Fierce Impact. Tiako Shark is circling wide out, but still 4 off them. Dream Force just in front from Happy Clapper. Very elegant. Wide out Tiako Shark. The Shark's coming for the kill. Tiako Shark right over the top. Good up to win it from Very Elegant and Fierce Impact third. There's the Group 1 double.
We had a crocodile and a shark win on the weekend.
Mate, what? 2 fantastic horses. Tiako Shark. Firstly, well done on the tip. What a run.
Mate, I've got to say, what a run. And much like the Victorian All-Stars team, did it flash home at the end. I'll tell you what, on the turn, even I was feeling a bit of doubt. You know, the old bum was very tight together, just really willing it home. But
we were desperate for a win at in Sydney as well. So Tiako Shark was
mate, the shark, and you know what? It ran home like it knew it had to get the multi home.
It knew. He's listened. Opie, who wrote it? Was it Opie?
It was bloody Opie Bossum.
Opie Bossum rides 2 frigging Group 1s. He ignores the New Zealand. Was it the Karaka Million over there or the?
Well, mate, I don't know, but he had the dirty double
over
probably
there and just absolutely ignored it. But firstly, but addition to that, great call by Darren Flindell. Thanks to Sky Racing for audio on both of those races that we just played during the podcast. But, mate, great win by you. We're not calling it the El Patrica Especiale punting bonanza.
Rima!
Pat's punt is up 300 fat ones in the profit, I think. 300 or so.
Well, mate, a 320 collect, so it'll be 220 in the positive.
220 versus $10 in the positive, but we haven't had a loser yet.
Mate, it is a long year.
Mate,
Don't worry about that.
I can't wait to get to the footy. We're going to be good. We might even up the ante a bit later, but we have 4 massive Group 1s this weekend. I was actually unaware that the Canterbury Stakes, was a Group 1, $500,000 on the line. So in Sydney, we've got the Canterbury Stakes and the Randwick Guineas, and at Flemington, we've got the Newmarket Handicap and the Australian Cup. I have to say, I am a little bit more excited for the 2 in Melbourne than the 2 in Sydney.
Is the Canterbury Stakes a Group 1, is it? Mate, just scrolling through it, it just looks quite a weak Group 1.
Its status is a Group 1. I thought it's called the Heineken 3 Canterbury Stakes, but I just assumed was a Group 3. But for some reason, RaceNet has it categorised as a Group 1 status.
Yeah, well, the Heineken 3 is the mid-strength Heineken, which tastes like shit. No offence to Heineken.
I thought it was a Group 3.
They're obviously not sponsors of ours. That's why we can say that sort of stuff.
Heineken. Jeez, there's been some good horses winning it. Anyway. Let's get into it, mate.
Take it away, Woodhead. Who's your tip in the Canterbury Stakes?
All right, let me get it up in front of me. You and I had a very nice win on Savatiana, as you described this horse as the beast.
The beast, mate, and we took the line out of Savatiano to Quackerjack on the weekend as well, and got some nice chocolates at $7 there too.
Well done, very well done. Could have tipped it to the rest to the punters, but it's all good. I actually like the fave here. I like Standout at 245. Tommy Berry in the saddle. You are obviously sticking with Savatiana. Give me your thoughts on that, because obviously there's a bit more value about it.
Mate, do you know what? As far as it goes, it could be a real Cornella race there. I think, it's just...
You got Alizé in there as well. Let's just do the trifecta. 3 best horses win.
Mate, it'll pay $1. But, do you know what? I will bet against you this week, and I hope that the two of them are fighting it out like Alligator Blood and Catalyst did. How was it, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago.
We having any thoughts around the Bostonian? You got the Wizard from the West. He's coming over to jump. Sorry, that's the wrong Pike.
That's
the
Tony
trainer.
Pike. That's
Nash
Tony
Royal
Pike from New
Villas
Zealand. But he has come over from New Zealand to. He's
Wizard
brought
from
the
the East.
Bostonian across. the Wizard.
The Kiwi Wizard. You misheard me. I just got the word West wrong.
Kiwi Wizard.
The Kiwi Wizard, A.W. Pike.
There was a rumor too that Tony Pike was going to do the Harker before the Canterbury Stakes as well.
That'd be good. It'd be even better if William Pike did it.
What can't he do? He probably could do it,
mate. He butchers faves. You know what, everyone on Facebook? Shut up. Okay, so we're going against each other there. We're going straight into the Randwick Guineas, 1,600 metres, race 7 at Randwick on Saturday. I know what you like. One of your top 3 horses in this race. So tell me about why you're going to have a bet on Castle Vecchio.
It's a favourite of mine, and much like the reason that I liked Tiako Shark is that you just don't run placings in Cox Plates for nothing.
So many form lines have come out of the Cox Plates, eh?
Oh, mate, 100%. It's just the best of the best. So, mate, how about I'll let you go up here. What's your selection for this race?
I didn't do this race. I like Brandenburg because it's a good horse, but I kind of focused myself on Flemington. Rachel King's in the saddle. It's actually a bit of a market mover, if you would be surprised. It's come in from $10, came right down to $7, but it's just popped back out to $8 this afternoon. Its last run at Rosehill was over 1,400 on a soft track. Hopefully they can bump it up to 1,600. At $8, I'll be having a few shekels each way. Not true. I will be having a few shekels on the nose on Brandenburg.
Mate, I only made that comment about the Canterbury Stakes being a Group 1 just because you look at a race like this and it is just this is the Guineas. These horses, yeah, but I suppose the 3-year-old crop is just that good this year. But you just look down this race and see just talent on talent, and then I look at that last race.
Like Microphone's paying $650. Like Hugh Bowman in the saddle. Microphone last year you couldn't get. Yeah, mate, it is. This is going to be a cracking race. This is going to be a very, very good race.
It will, but mate, I just think Castle Vecchio will just sit out the back, smoke its pipe, and its turn of foot is unbelievable. If you like Tiako Shark's turn of foot, Castle Vecchio is of the same ilk. Yeah,
I like that.
It's very impressive. While we're on it though, if we can just take you back one race, is the Highland Race Colours Challenge, is this not a Group 1?
The what? You want to go the Highland Race Colours?
Race 6 at Randwick.
No, it's not. Sand Out of Lane, Nature Strip, Red Zell, Ball of Muscles, Jungle Edge.
Is that not a Group 1?
No, mate, it's not.
Hurly Durly.
Can you,
mate, I'll tell you what.
Is this a Super Saturday or what? I've got the mothers group over this weekend. They might have to be shooting out by race 4. We got all the husbands over, a few beers. It'll be
the lunch might turn into a breakfast.
I hope they don't mind having the races on while the kids are all playing. That would be frowned upon. No, I'm looking forward to it. This is an unbelievable race. Obviously, my favourite horse, Red Zell, one of the faves. I just love.
One on your wedding day?
Sprinters. It did. One on my wedding day. The very first, the inaugural. Is that the first? The inaugural Everest was run on my wedding day. Everyone, don't have your wedding day on a big race day. We booked the date.
That was also your inaugural wedding day, wasn't it?
That was my first of, I'm sure, many wedding days. But yeah, this is a great look. Sand Out of Lane,
Mate, at one point it was rated the best sprinter in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be one hell of a race. Guys, we are just so lucky. Can we just, if you were throwing some clams at this race, I find it very, very difficult to back against Red Zell. It's a horse you can't really count out.
Yeah, mate, I've got no doubt. I've got no doubt it'll be around the placings, but at $6.50, I would have to have something on centre and a lane. I just think it is, if it can capture its best form.
I tell you, it's actually gone from $6 into $6.50. I mean, out to $6.50.
Has it?
Yeah.
Well,
just wait. See you go tonight. We might have a little bit on it. I'll call you at midnight. This is recorded at 7:30 Queensland time. Right now, it's 7:30 Queensland time on Wednesday night. Hey, let's jump over to Flemington. I want to take you to race 6, the Seppelt Wines Newmarket Handicap, 1,200 metres. Can I give you a quick? Oh no, that's the wrong. I was going to say something about Seppeltsfield wines, but they're all beautiful wines. This horse here is a horse that I had. You couldn't get me to stop talking about it last year with Bivouac. A little disappointing over its run 2 weeks ago.
Go Bivouac!
A lot of people jumped off it at Caulfield. Guy Trash, Trope. Now, Loving Gabby. I know you've sent me a few things about Loving Gabby this week. Where's your head at for the Newmarket?
Mate, I think as much as I'm a lover of Bivouac and will be saving on it because it's such a good price at $4.80, like I said, I thought first up, Exceedance wasn't in the race. I thought that was its chance to win.
Yeah.
It didn't on a super biased Caulfield track towards the leaders. I think you obviously have to forgive the run, but it's coming up against a crack field here, Bivouac Exceedance. Exceedance is first up, and that's why I do think that Loving Gabby has the edge over it being second up. It's cracking horse, like came down the outside with Nature Strip and run straight past it in the Jesus, I can't make that. The name of the race eludes me, but it was a huge run, taking nothing away from Jai Trash, but Jai Tra is how you say it.
Oh, is it? I thought it was Trash.
But it was Dry Trash after that race. We were nowhere near it. But I think it may have been in the right part of the track. In its own race, as Craig Williams said, it did beat its side of the field quite convincingly, Loving Gabby. So, mate, I just believe this is a horse that is just going from strength to strength. Second up, like I said, I think it'll be winning this race.
Now, Williams has jumped off it. I jumped off Bivouac to get on Loving Gabby. Hey, he had the choice of either, right?
He has, but I do think that
there's a bit in that.
While we say that he jumped off it, my thought would be that he would talk to James Cummings and say, I'm going to ride Loving Gabby, whilst James Cummings would have been saying to him, I'm going to sack you off Bivouac, but we'll just say that you're choosing to ride Loving Gabby because James Cummings doesn't need the pressure of sacking a jockey and, pumping his horse up, blaming the jockey. He's a bloke who's very mild-mannered, calm. He knows he's losing nothing in putting Glenn Boss on. So my personal opinion is that James Cummings would have been happy to see Craig Williams go.
Okay. We haven't agreed on anything as yet. So let's roll straight into...
Did you take Bivouac there?
Yeah, I have to. I think people have got a short memory.
It's true, but mate, our short Exceedance really had Bivouac's measure last prep. I know they're a bit older, a bit stronger, but yeah,
we'll see, mate.
I'll throw it out there now. G-Tra will not be winning.
Guy, you've trashed the Guy Tra.
Guy Trash will not be winning.
Hey, I've got a big sticky outsider for the Tab Australian Cup, 2,000 metres, race 8 at Flemington. We were very, very much on this horse last weekend. Short back up, miss. Or was it the weekend before?
Short back up and sides.
Short back up and side, party at the back, business at the front. Miss Siska, Damien Lane behind the driver's seat, behind the steering wheel of the horse.
Mate, are you just winning on everything at the moment, Damien Lane?
Mate, I think this is a cracking horse. I think it's going for 4 wins in a row, or I don't know, it could be more. Hold on, let me get the long
3 wins in a row.
No, it's won its last 3.
Has it? I think it's won its last 2, and then 2
Well,
seconds
I am
before that.
usually wrong. Maybe you weren't thinking of its last weekend. So it's gone through the steps: 1,200, 1,600, 1,800, putting it up to 2,000. I'm actually going to have a place multi in my tips.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'm very against place multis. Do you know what? Do you know who the favourite in the Australia Cup is? And I feel like there's a good meme going around for it. The guy sitting on the park bench, the skeleton sitting on the park bench. If you're still waiting for Avilius to run on and win the race, it's like the same guy waiting for Tom Melbourne to win a race.
I can't put money on Avilius.
Yeah, do you know what? Oh, it's just... its last, 5 or 6 starts just haven't been... It's ran on well without looking the winner.
Yeah.
What are we looking? It's last 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, no. It did win won a Group 1.
It did. Yeah, Villiers has. Did last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so who do you like? Stop telling us who you don't like. Well, you're on Siska with your brother. Come here, Miss Siska.
What?
Are you on Miss Siska with me?
Mate, I think at $13 after having a good win on it last week, or the week before last, sorry, I think we would be remiss not to have something on it.
Yep.
I think Southern France was one of yours in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, about 14th, I think. But yeah, I did have a decent bet on Southern France, and I hate tipping people into horses in the Melbourne Cup. And of all horses for me to tip people into the Melbourne Cup, it was Southern France. So I think it's no chance in this race.
Mate, well, I'm on the quick back up. I think 2,000 metres, only query for 50 stars.
Otherwise that's right.
At $7, I'm willing to take the risk. I think it's a good risk at the price.
Stars.
Yep.
Yeah, look, it'd be a toss-up between those. I'm a huge fan of 50 stars. We got it at a really good price on Melbourne Cup Day, so there's a lot of form coming out of that day. I can't knock a horse that's on a roll. I know it'll always come into competition, always come into better horses, but I just can't knock a horse that's on a roll. This is a good race. This actually is a very, very good race.
And you look at this Group 1 and then you go, fuck me, the Canterbury Stakes. Come on.
Mate, I could be wrong. Someone write in, tell me if I'm wrong. As you know, anyone that's listened to this throughout last season, this happens quite often, but we got it here. 3-year-old and up, weight for age, Group 1, 1,300 metres. So, all right, there are your 4 Group 1s. Is that correct? Yeah, we've done all 4 of them. We're running a little bit long, guys, so I appreciate the lot of you sticking around.
Let's rip straight into the bets, bro.
Do you want me to go first? I've got them sitting right here.
Yeah, get amongst.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through it a heap a lot. I really like the horse Graceful Glamour since we tipped it a couple of weeks ago at $11. It comes against pretty good horses in. Hold on, let me just get my shit in front of me. Okay, it's not letting me do that. It comes into some pretty good horses. It needs to get over the top of Spanish Reef, which it has done before, and it did in its last win. I'm liking Graceful Glamour at $4.40. I'm going to have $70 on Graceful Glamour. and then I'm going to have a remainder of my money, $30, on a Miss Siska Pretty Brazen Place multi. Already spoken about Miss Siska. Already spoken about Pretty Brazen at some point last year. We know the Brazen boys. I think did we mention it last week with the boys that did Brazen Boats? Do you ever see Magic Millions? Are just two of the most giant guys you've ever seen. Great guys. I think it's a really good shot in race 7 at Flemington on Saturday. So, yeah, place multi. I've never done one before in my life, but to be really honest with you, it's hard. I really wanted to go through the selections I liked in the 4 Group 1s. I will be probably focusing my betting on those 4 races, but to get us around and to add more tips to this multi, I wanted to look for 3 other horses, and this is where I'm at.
Mate, you're attempting to become the new Place Prince.
Place Prince? Who's
the Place? I know Morgs was the Place Prince at one point.
Oh, Morgan Campbell Gillard. Your brother-in-law was in our punters club, and he used to just love. He put on 6, 7 leg place multis, and they just seemed to get up. But this is a 2-legger. You should get about $10 with it unboosted. So if you get to $12, that's great. We're having $30 on it, so I'm looking to be up $600. I'm looking to have a $600 win this weekend. I'm very, very excited. I'm firming. I'm firming.
That's some very bullish betting, bro.
What, the place multi? You think I'm a pussy?
I just think play and place.
Mate, just shut up.
The
Do
Prince
yours.
of Place.
I'm going to put shit on your bets.
Okay.
Where are
my
we?
shitty bets. Firstly,
Yeah.
I'm going to go a $25 multi. Melbourne
Where
race
are we
6.
for the kids playing at home?
Melbourne race 6, Loving Gabby.
Oh, okay. So you went there. Yeah, okay.
All up.
Mm-hmm.
Melbourne race 7, number 3, Tenley. This was a horse we backed the other night that got held up, and I really think it could be winning Saturday, sorry. So that all up will net you roughly
About $46.
$46, $20 on that.
Mm-hmm.
$25 on that, sorry. We'll
Yeah.
just win a neat 1,000 there.
Can you write these down for me? Because we want to put these on the website as well.
Yeah, good as gold. My other all-up will be Sydney Race 5, number 5, Saviciano, for $25. All up, Melbourne Race 4, number 1, Spanish Reef.
Oh, you've gone against me. You've gone head-to-head in my standout race with Graceful Glamour.
The Graceful Glamour.
Wow. You know Graceful Glamour's beaten Spanish Reef before.
Do you know I just did it to show no respect?
You are a effing dog.
And then the last 50 of mine, Sydney Race 7, number 1, Castelvecchio. Crowd favourite, fan favourite, my second favourite, behind Alligator Blood, obviously. Castelvecchio, mate. That's what we're on the $100 Pat's Punt this week.
Pat's Punt. Now, all this stuff, this podcast will probably go out Thursday morning, so I hope a lot of you guys are listening to it before the bets. If not, just loving it for the banter. Plus, by the way, give us plenty of feedback. These bets, these videos, these podcasts are all available through the Facebook page, through the website. We'll actually chuck our bets up there under the podcast page. I haven't figured out. I've got to get someone to tell me how to do that, but we'll be able to do it. But yeah, mate, another cracking podcast episode, the second episode for the second season, under an hour and a half. We did go out a little bit. I do appreciate you guys for sticking with us. Our true listeners, our true fans. We're going to get some winners for you this year. I promise you. Wait till we get back into the NRL next week. We've still got Group 1. We've got the All-Star Mile. Oof.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. I appreciate your time on this evening to give us your thoughts on the 2020 season and the Group 1s this weekend.
Mate, it's great to be here. It's great to be alive.
Yeah, mate. The punters, you're getting a lot of feedback. A lot of people are absolutely loving you for tipping them into what you tipped them into. A lot of feedback about Alligator Blood. We have been on it from the very second start. We were very excited last week. So I'm glad you guys are sharing that passion with us. Looking forward to a massive weekend of racing this weekend. So enjoy. Gamble responsibly. Be happy. Punt happy. And see you, Pat.
Obviously. See you, bud.
Bye.